Well, it's most target audience right there. The target really is to get whatever thing on the news,
Yeah.
so that they can sell, X number of these products or whatever.
It's
Or
their
generate
time.
hype behind the
Yeah, it's their time to get free advertising by having at least show up or something.
They got to squeeze that in because between the Olympics and the election, any more time for the mainstream media to listen to these chuckleheads that want to buy Kate.
Hella expensive going into the summer and fall.
It's crazy to me that the TV, we talk about, we're going to give guidance for our or whatever. That's a big. It's not. They actually have 4-year cycles. The Olympic
bone off my labrum.
Yeah.
Or the labrum off my bone. And everyone describes it with a golf metaphor. It's like a tee for a golf ball, and part of it broke off, so the golf ball wants to fall off. Which happened yesterday morning when I went to go close my car door, and I pulled my arm out of the socket.
Again.
So they're going to go in, they're going to make sure that the labrum is intact, and they're going to move the bone fragment back where it belongs, and they're going to pack my shoulder. And they're saying I should be okay to ski, although carefully.
Since you only dislocated your arm twice in the last week, it should probably be fine.
Yeah. I mean, what could go wrong? Anyway, so I'm putting in my car.
All right. Let's see.
Are you just going to stand there in case something bumps you and dislocates your arm again?
Yeah, it's like a hard sneeze,
Have your meals brought to you. Get a travel urinal.
That's called a trucker bomb, Rob.
No, it's a trucker bomb when you throw it out of the car.
Oh, all right.
You know what's funny about that? So in California, starting about 10 years ago, people stopped doing meth labs, and they did this method called shake and bake. I was friends with the sheriff in the Central Valley. And so what they would do is they would put all the chemicals they need in a 2-liter bottle, an empty 2-liter bottle. It's not like they're Dr. Pepper flavored. And then they would close it up. They would shake it in the bottle, causing the chemical reaction that would create the meth. And then they would basically pour it out of the bottle, inject it, and then they'd throw the bottle out the car door. And that's like, okay.
Are you teaching Jake how to make his own meth?
No, I don't know about this stuff, man. It sounds like a really bad idea to learn how to make meth, just for the record, for our listeners. But yeah.
For Jake. I would also like to point out that I changed the text at the bottom of the streaming video to say 4 days since last injury, and I feel like now I actually...
Yeah.
Because it's really only like a day and a half.
If OBS was better at actually doing that sort of thing, I would.
You could actually. Well, I mean,
no, I can't. But I'm not going to monkey around with that keyboard and try to carry on a conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that sounds like an ambition problem.
Well, I think really what we need is that Chris should delegate a no-off token for all of his medical records, and that way we can just keep this updated via script. What could possibly go wrong with that?
Yeah, maybe we can put a sensor in my shoulder. A good friend of mine, he's like, that's the face punch. So that's our third listener.
All right, we got Jake, Tom, and Eli.
Wait, is that the Tom that I met?
Tom Steinberg in London?
No.
Okay. So then no.
Was our third listener Eli
Wait a second.
Peter Thiel?
There's more than one Tom?
Which Tom did you meet, Jeff?
I think his name was, maybe it was John. I'm sorry, names like Tom and John just kind of blend into, it's like Chad, Thad, Brad, I'm all like, yeah.
It's not like Caden and Caden and Caden and Caden and Caden. I mean,
no, it's
Tom
not like
and John start with different
letters.
letters.
Like a Jeff, 2 Robs, and a Chris.
At this point, we're just saints, right? I mean.
And unfortunately, Rob's the older one, so that means I get to be Rob the second.
Yeah.
I prefer to call you Rob the Minor.
Yeah. Robbius the Lesser.
Roblet.
Roblet. There we go. I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I got nothing else on my list.
Debona, you did miss me talking about Atom RPG, which you should probably check out. It's Baldur's Gate if done by Russian software developers. And the only way to cure rads is drinking vodka. I think that's probably all you need to know about the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to drink anything after midnight because I turn into a gremlin. No, surgery, right? No. So the thing that I would like to talk about. So I picked up this thing called it's a company called Roli, ROLI, and they make MIDI devices and keyboards and that kind of thing. And they make something called the Sound Kit, and it's this keyboard, and I say keyboard with quotes around it, which I'd use if I didn't have one.
I've seen these.
And they're made of like silicon, and so how hard you press, if you move up or down, it's like a trackpad meets a keyboard meets goo, and it's fascinating. It's super fun, and I'm having a good time so far. So
I really love that sort of thing, and I like you're kind of in one of my wheelhouses of idle browsing, like weird custom instruments.
Yeah,
I absolutely love this. But the thing that I really like is that like the Raleigh is an interesting case because it clearly descends from the traditional keyboard, so it represents the traditional,
and they have a drum pad that is actually a display and is actually gooey silicon.
Well, that's the whole thing, right?
It's so freaky. It's so cool.
Like you can bend it all. It's all like mushy. It's weird.
Yeah,
I really like that sort of thing. I watching tubers monkey around with old 70s and 60s, all that stuff. There's a hat for the Raspberry Pi, which has got a bunch of stuff in it. And I was thinking about picking one of those up and power processing stuff. Which I probably will have because I use my Mac for power amp. And I do not have any other way to stimulate amps from the 70s.
Let me ask you something. So Eric,
I'm
conglomerate Altair.
Our John Joe Weed line of the pens.
This is the war crimes display. Now,
can they make